Hello everyone, this is Crypto Law back with another blockchain legal brief, and today we're going to discuss a battle that's currently taking place in the European Union that's pitting European lawmakers and policymakers versus the crypto industry. But before we dive in, please, if you like this content, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate that. And with that said, let's dive on in and see what this is all about. Alright, so we could see that Cointelegraph reports that the crypto industry fires back after EU vote to block unhosted wallets. Imagine if the EU required your bank to report you to the authorities every time you paid your rent merely because the transaction was over 1,000 euros, said Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. They say, the crypto industry has reacted strongly against a European Union Parliament committee voting in favor of a regulatory package for tighter Know Your Customer, KYC, and Anti-Money Laundering, AML, rules for unhosted private wallets. The new guidelines would require crypto service providers, most common exchanges, to verify the identity of every individual behind an unhosted wallet that interacts with them, while any transaction greater than 1,000 euros or $1,100 would need to be reported to authorities. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong vented his frustrations against the move via Twitter, drawing comparisons with fiat to highlight the absurdity of reporting and verifying a 1,000 euro transaction. He stated, imagine if the EU required your bank to report you to the authorities every time you paid your rent merely because the transaction was over 1,000 euros. Or if you sent money to your cousin to help with groceries, the EU required your bank to collect and verify private information about your cousin before allowing you to send the funds. How could the bank even comply? The banks would push back. That's what we are doing now, he added. And here's a copy of CEO Brian Armstrong's tweets. They say the proposal was part of an amendment to the Transfer of Funds regulation that was voted through by the Economic and Monetary Affairs Committee on Civil Liberties, Justice, and Home Affairs on Thursday. For the new rules to be enacted, they must be passed via trilogue negotiations between the EU Parliament, European Council, and the European Commission. And if they remain unopposed, it would give the crypto industry 9 to 18 months to come in full compliance with the legislation. The chairman and CEO, Pascal Gauthier of digital wallet firm Ledger, didn't mince his words either, stating that the EU Parliament chose fear over freedom. A new regulation was just voted on that paves the way for a massive surveillance regime over Europe's financial landscape. The regulatory news appears to have had a significant impact on the price of Bitcoin, with the asset's price declining 4.5% over the past 24 hours to sit at $45,243 at the time of writing. Ether is also down 3.7% to $3,282 within that time frame. European decentralized finance, or DeFi firm, Unstoppable Finance, lamented the news, expressing hopes that proposals will get shot down in the upcoming negotiations. Quote, the amendments are a huge setback for crypto in the EU and should be repealed in the trilogues, the firm stated. Unstoppable Finance's head of strategy and business development, Patrick Hansen, also took to Twitter to vent his anger, calling the proposals a big disappointment and a big threat to individual privacy. Quote, it introduces unfeasible wallet verification requirements and unjustifiable reporting requirements for crypto companies that would have massively detrimental effects for EU citizens and companies alike. He noted that it would be difficult, if not impossible, for crypto service providers to verify an unhosted counterpart, and warned that to stay compliant and not compromise their legal position, some companies might want to cut off transactions with unhosted wallets altogether. Others, smaller ones, might find the potential operational costs of compliance too expensive, leaving it to the bigger established players, which would cause a further market consolidation. However, Hansen also noted that he holds optimism that the rules could be at least watered down in the trilogue negotiations, as some commission or council members have voiced criticism about the regulations. So, all in all, I think it's good that advocates from the crypto industry are fighting back against this broad overreach on behalf of the European lawmakers, and they're actually trying to bring this to the attention of the public and mobilize some sort of pushback against this government overreach and this furtherance of global surveillance states. And so I think what's really happening here is you have large central banks, this time in Europe, they're feeling the pressure from the disruption that digital assets, crypto, DeFi are putting on their industry. And as a result of that pressure, they're mobilizing their influence in lawmakers and policymakers to try to nip this threat in the bud before it becomes almost unmanageable to them. So we're seeing this battle play out in real time between these disruptive technologies that are more beneficial to everyday individuals and ultimately strip away power from large central banks and big money. So all in all, I like to see this pushback. It'll be interesting. I have a feeling that if there is a large enough pushback, then this bill or this proposed law would get watered down and it won't be quite as restrictive. And it's possible it could get just shot down altogether if the pushback is large enough. I know that that happened in the United States where lawmakers were trying to hide in crypto regulations into, I think it was the infrastructure bill or maybe a combination of that and other bills. And ultimately, due to the enormous amount of pushback that lawmakers received, they were ultimately forced to walk back their position. So there is power in numbers, and hopefully everybody in the industry can stay the course and force the policymakers' hand here and ultimately force them to walk back their position with regards to this over-surveillance and power consolidation that they're attempting, this power grab in the EU. So that's where we stand on this issue as of now. We're going to keep you guys updated as the situation develops. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Please, if you did, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate that. And with that said, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.